Good morning. It's Thursday, July 29th, talking stocks with Coach B. Thank you for everyone who's already in here. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Joseph, what's up? Good morning. Christina, good morning. Happy Thursday. Michael's in the house. SRT, what's up? Co-creator, there we go. Shrimply, good morning. Thanks you for joining. Dan, you know what, Dan? I actually I saw that you left a comment on a video and it won't go through because of links. But I could see it on my end, and I know it was a link to like the Super Stonks subreddit. And I remember seeing that post a long time ago. My email address is coachbstocks at gmail, just all one word, coachbstocks. So if you ever want to send me a link or anything like that, feel free to send it in there because I can't for some reason, like on YouTube, I think you can't even put links in the chat like on this video. So anyways, I saw it. I wasn't able to click on it. Danny's in the house. What's up? Good morning. Jason, Scotty, what's up, Scotty? 68 Spindrift, good morning. Lisa, what's up? I think that's everybody so far. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Should be hopefully we can get a good cap off to the week. We got 2 more days. We saw some green yesterday in CLOV. Little bit of green on Monday. Tuesday wasn't that bad. I mean, I made a video yesterday. There's not it's hard to do these update videos sometimes because there's really not that much to talk about, but I think the most exciting thing right now with Clove is that, and I know we talked about this even on the stream yesterday, is that, dating back to July 15th, I think is the first time that they were able to get the stock below, $8 in a long time. And they've done it multiple times since then, but we haven't closed below $8 at all. So we've kind of found our base. Yeah, yesterday they pushed us under a little bit. I think we touched 794. Even back on the 19th, we touched 767. But each one of those days, we were able to get above 8. Let me see here. Scotty says VXRT. You know what? That's let me pull that one up because I had a friend. I actually bought some options on VXRT um not too long ago. I don't have them anymore. They expired. This was maybe like 2 months ago, and basically it had to do with earnings report. Okay. Um Yeah, it had to do with COVID vaccines and stuff, and they were expecting to get some sort of approval, and it didn't happen. And so, like these options we had just expired worthless. But I know he's actually holding on to a ton of shares and has been for like, I mean, way back here, like $4. And he knows a lot about the company. I don't know anything. At the time when he hit me up about it, he was just telling me that like, hey, they're supposed to be getting this approval soon, and once it happens, the stock should take off. So I grabbed a couple calls on it. This was a long time ago. Those calls already expired. I don't know anything about VXRT. Um, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call him up after this stream and see what's going on. Because if this is what he was talking about last time, he was expecting the stock to kind of like, really take off. And if you look at analyst projections too, I mean, 18 on the high side, 9 on the low. Either one's a good buy right now if these projections are based on something that's coming up in the future. Um, Shit, actually, he just texted me. All right, see if I get a response back from him. Anyways, good morning, everybody. So yeah, Scotty, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, up 11% in pre-market, which actually brings me to so AVXL. You guys that have been on here for a while know, if you've been following me, AVXL is a stock that I've been into for a while, and that one's actually up 8% in pre-market right now too. Um, yeah, I'm gonna write that down, Scotty. Options chain, and I'll take a look at it and see what's going on, and we'll even look at it right here on the show too. Um, But yeah, AVXL had some good news this morning. They're filing for a new patent. They had significant results in some of their recent tests, and they're looking to start phase three. Um, if you've been following me on here, this is one I'm looking at. They're looking to basically find cures for dementia, Tourette's, Down syndrome, and they're doing it in pill form. So, uh, could be pretty huge. I'm expecting this stock to run pretty soon again. Um, I don't try to weigh anything on analyst projections or anything, but since it's up, because we were just looking at it on VXRT, I mean, they're saying anywhere from 25 to $50, and the stock's trading around 20 right now. So, um, it is holding this kind of like 50-day moving average. I think this was just kind of a cool off, profit taking off this run up to 35. And all it takes is a catalyst. Maybe this is today. Today might be the day. Um, who knows? But good news this morning. It was up as much as like 10% earlier today. So um, we'll see what happens. Yeah, and I've been up since 4 a.m. again. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I just woke up. It was actually like 3:55, and I kind of rolled over, looked at the clock, made some coffee, and yep. All right, let's see who else is in here. Skip, what's up? Good morning. Uh, Jason says VXRT looks great in Lux Algo. Okay, yeah. Let me check that out. Let's pull up the options chain right now, and then we'll look at it. We got some time before the market opens. Also, yeah, Target short seller. What's up, man? Says NKLA, big scandal, down 10%. I just saw that on Twitter. Someone had posted something about, I think their CEO, right? So we might see that one kind of dropping this morning. The other big one that's IPOing today is Robinhood, and I mean, I don't have a take on that at all. I think that stock probably will tank into the ground. Um, but who knows? It's probably going to be highly manipulated today. I'll be keeping an eye on it, but I'm not looking to play that stock at all. I've seen people saying that they want to buy puts on it or, short it or whatever. My only thing on that is if you're going to try to get in on puts, um, try to time the top. I know that's hard, but don't do it right off the open. I know I showed this yesterday, but here's Coinbase. Um, by the time it IPO, there was people that were already in down here. But once it hit the markets, it ran all the way up to 429. I mean, puts anywhere in here would have been great. And I guess they still would have paid off down here too, but it's just going to be really risky. I don't really like playing IPOs at all, and especially something with a manipulated company like Robinhood. So I wouldn't touch it at all. That's kind of my take. Um, so yeah, so AVXL's up right now. BNGO is another stock that I've been following for quite a while. Um, got out back in January, jumped back in sometime in I think like April or May, and they got earnings coming up. So they're up a little bit in pre-market too right now, but their earnings report is coming out on August 4th. Um, I think once we it's kind of in the same position as CLOV in terms of the chart setup. I think once we get this crossover and turn to green on the MACD, RSI starting to curl up. Um, you know, the stock really does run once it gets moving. Hopefully, we'll see it kind of get back up there and test 15. That's where a lot of the analyst projections are on it. Um, let's see, what other stocks am I in before I get back to the chat? DraftKings did enter a position down here. I still think it's a great entry point for DraftKings, even trading up here at 50 right now with football season right around the corner. Um, I'm looking for it to go test these all-time highs, but not anytime soon. I'm thinking this will probably happen between now and maybe October-ish, maybe even into November. But getting in at 50 right now and looking for it to get upwards of like 80 or 90. Some significant differences between, last year and this year is they have the casino in there now where you can actually get on there and gamble and not just bet on sports. And they also just announced that they're opening up an NFT marketplace. with Autograph, and Autograph has the intellectual property of like Lionsgate, which is, I mean, they've got a ton of movies in their arsenal that they can, kind of use with the NFT thing. And then Autograph also has like Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods, a lot of the big athletes in it. So I'm expecting big things out of DraftKings. Not really exciting to sit there and watch the ticker all day, but I mean, it has been green recently, but that's more of a long-term play for me. That I'll be looking to dump probably closer to their February earnings, like get rid of somewhere around January. Hopefully it'll be, what is this? This is March, but I'm looking to dump somewhere when we get around here as we lead up to this earnings date. All right, so GameStop, not much going on. Kind of the same old thing, trading sideways right now. Lost some support levels early. Highly manipulated stock, just like CLOV. Maybe even more so than CLOV, but CLOV, like I said, we've been holding $8. I think this is the base. Options chain is absolutely loaded up. Those of you guys that have been in here watching every day kind of know that this options chain, I think, has the potential for us to take off and really gamma squeeze any day. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week. But if it doesn't happen this week, the potential's there for next week. The potential's there for the week after that. Like, this chain is just loaded up throughout all the expiration dates, all the monthlies. And, at any point, once we get that upward movement, and get a little bit more volume pouring in with the volume drying up the way it has been, I think, the potential's there to hit like 10, 11, 12, and that catapult us upwards. And I mean, that could really get us moving upwards to like $40 just based off the option chain alone. The only other thing with CLOV that I thought was interesting yesterday, kind of like I was saying before, once we dip down below 8, which has been happening quite often, we always springboard back up. Yesterday was kind of the strongest reversal. They got us below 8, and we ended up breaking above VWAP. Let me turn this shit off. And then we started going upwards, kind of held VWAP, but actually once I turned this on, it looked like we actually bounced off the 50-day moving average. Either way, and then we kind of came down and closed on the 50-day moving average. So that seems to be a significant line there on the 5-minute chart, maybe. But the other interesting thing that happened here was we were seeing a lot of resistance right here at 843. I mean, we came up there and tapped it like 4 times, in that closing power hour. So that was kind of like our significant resistance yesterday. Today we came out and actually touched above there a couple times in pre-market. Now we're trading right around VWAP, still up. 1 cent right now? Nothing major, but really interested to see how this goes. Max Paint is $8, so market makers are going to try to manipulate this stock and get it down below 8, or right at 8, by the end of the week, which is basically the next 2 days. But they don't always they don't always succeed in that. So we just got to kind of see how it plays out. But I think we really do have the potential at any day now, any week now, any month now, and I'm willing to hold that long term because I think the stock is a steal where it's at. So, anyways, let me get back to the chat real quick. Let's see here. I got way far behind. Okay, Chef Daddy, let's see. The ticker that I was talking about a little while ago was VXRT. I'm gonna pull it up in 1 minute too, just so we can all kind of look at the options chain before the open here. And then Michael says skills. What's funny about skills is I was actually, just kind of looking at all the gambling stocks, which is how I kind of came across DraftKings. But skills was one that kind of intrigued me too. But so I was actually going to do a little bit more, research into skills one of these days after the stream. I'm always looking for new potential plays to get into down the road, especially if one of these other ones hits. Like, for instance, with AVXL, the way it's moving today. Um, even though this is a long term play for me, if AVXL really takes off and runs in the next couple of days based off this news, and we get up here to like 40, 45, I'll probably sell and wait for the next pullback to jump back in. So if that's the case, I'll be looking to enter into another play. Just kind of move that money into something else. So skills is one I've been kind of looking at, but yeah, I'll pull skills up in a second too. Um, let's see. Yeah, Scotty said he was out walking at 5:30. Yeah, I need to start doing that too. Maybe when I get up and wake up early, go take a walk. Cause, well, I guess with work starting soon, I'll be out and about more. All I really do now is, after the stream and stuff. I mean, I might mess around in the backyard. I started a garden. I've been like planting vegetables and doing stuff like that, but I haven't been exercising much, probably in the last 2 or 3 months. And I used to exercise at least an hour or two a day. So something I really need to get back into. Ego says hood is a pump and dump. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I would just. That's what I'm thinking too. I think, you know, obviously with payment for order flow, they're gonna know exactly what retail is looking to do before those order entries or as those order entries come in, um, and so if retail's looking to short, I would imagine it's going to get pumped up right off the bat and stop loss everybody out. And then once it gets pumped up, that would be obviously the time you'd want to jump in on puts. Or if you got a bunch of retail, which I don't think is going to be the case, trying to get in and buy, you're going to see that stock get a rug pull right off the beginning. So, um, yeah, I'm staying away from that completely. But if it just absolutely like rips face off this morning and uh, runs up extremely high, I'll probably buy some puts. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm trying to stay away from that stock altogether. Dan says something has me a little worried. BTU just put out Q2. It beat both revenue and EPS, but still at a loss. Sounds like what to expect from CLOV. Tanking hard right now makes me nervous. So, I mean, there's a couple things, and I don't know anything about BTU, but CLOV's kind of already in an oversold state. So like, just looking at this chart, and I don't know, or we could even check what analysts um projections are. Most are like at a hold or whatever, but BTU just ran up from $2 in March, trading at 12. It's kind of like this could almost be in an overbought state. You see the RSI up here, it's trading a little bit higher up there. And, no matter what earnings were going to come out, you might have saw this stock kind of get hammered down. Looks like it's only down 3% though. And you see that a lot. It also could be, sometimes when earnings are decent, you'll see a stock get hammered right off the bat to kind of shake retail out, and then you'll see institutional investors come in and buy those shares for a little bit cheaper. The difference with CLOV, and this is just my kind of like what I think is going on. I mean, we're in an oversold state right now, and the stock's highly undervalued. So we've been getting hammered hard already by short sellers for months, and I don't think they could hammer us down. So a lot of those manipulation tactics that they're doing, where like right after earnings you see like a rug pull or them trying to like really drive the stock into the ground to shake retail. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that. Um, I hope I'm right, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? But I really feel like at $8, right where we're at right now, I don't think they're going to be able to slam this thing down after earnings. But if you look at recent earnings, we kind of saw the same thing. Like back in March, earnings came out, stock dropped down from what the $10 range to almost $6, so almost 40%. But then after the last earnings on earnings day, they were able to slam the stock down kind of what I'm talking about, where short sellers will try to like come in and attack it to shake retail out. But shortly after that is when we saw the run up, and we had good earnings last time. So, and also right around that time too, the stock was kind of like we are now in an oversold state. We were at kind of the low point, at that in that $6 range. I think that's where we're at right now at $8 is in that low point that, that's the base. I don't think they can get us to go any lower. Again, I could be wrong, but I hope I'm right because I don't want to see the stock go much lower anyways. All right. SMJ, what's up? Says Robinhood's opposite of a meme stock. Yeah. I don't see any retail trying to really jump into that one. Yeah, Godfather. That's my point too. I'm not looking to get in there. Did I skip target short sellers? Oh, okay, yeah. More I read on Clove, the more I want to keep position long term. Yeah, I mean me too. I mean this is absolutely something that I want in my long term portfolio as an investment. But I've said this multiple times. Like if we hit a squeeze, right? Whether it be a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze, um, and the stock starts trading over fundamentals, like well over fundamentals, like right now, I think that this stock should be trading at 20 or 30. If we get to 20 or 30, I'm holding because now it's at like true value. But if all of a sudden we hit a squeeze and we get upwards of like $70, $100, shit, and in the really short term future, I'm gonna sell and buy back in when it comes down. I mean, I think that's just part of the game, right? This thing came up to 28. I didn't sell. The only thing I sold was my short term options that I had at the time, and I held on to my long positions. And shit, I wish I would have sold up here because then I could have came back in here and probably tripled or quadrupled my position down here. So, if we see something bigger than this, where all of a sudden we're getting upwards of, you know, within the next month or so, we're trading at $100. Um, there's always pullbacks. Every big run up has a pullback, and I'll probably look to get out, but get right back in for my long term. I mean, that's my take on it. I know some people might want to hold even higher because they have a certain price target, and that's cool too. Um, it would be, yeah, SRT. I feel you. It would be awesome to kind of be able to tank Robinhood down. Um, I did see Bart. I did see Al's video last night. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It seems like a little bit more than a coincidence, but I don't know. Co-creator, what's up? My sleep has been messed up too, up several times a night now. What's the point? Just get up. That's how I am too. All right, I'm getting behind now, and I told you guys I'd look at some of these option chains. So let me pull it up. Thanks for the chalk talks. Yeah, as long as people are watching them and you guys like them, I'll keep doing it. I know sometimes I tend to ramble on, but it's kind of like, if you guys have any topics too, absolutely go in there and leave them on the comments of those videos, and I'll just keep going and just talking. And it's fun for me too because then I'll go research some other stuff and just try to break it down and discuss it as if we're sitting next to each other just talking about it. Where did you get that massive wine glass behind you? So my mother-in-law worked for like a wine and spirit distribution place, like they distributed beer, wine, all that kind of stuff. And so she used to get all these like marketing materials like neon lights, all that kind of stuff. And so she got this we actually had two of them. And I don't know what happened to the other one. I think my wife might have gave it away to somebody. But either way, yeah. So we had that. She gave it to us. Like, what the hell are we gonna do with this? And so we kind of had the idea to just start putting, the corks from our wine bottles in there. Um, let's see here. All right, I'm starting to catch up. Yeah, target short seller says fair value is 18 to 25. I would say even if we got to about 30, I'm still gonna hold. Like if we squeezed up to 30, I'm 35 even. I'm just gonna keep holding the stock. But if we double that, yeah, I'm gonna get out at least 75% of my position because look what happens when you get these, especially if it happens in a short term. Like if we all of a sudden triple or quadruple in a day on like a short squeeze or a gamma squeeze, you're always going to see that pullback and that sell off, and you might as well profit off it. Gentrify, teaching kids by day, apes by night. All right, let's see. Kamal, what's up? Good morning. If CLOV closes below 8 on Friday, we know then the max pain and expiration is intentional. Ramble on. Yeah, I mean, shit, they've been able to push this stock down to max pain for what? Probably like the last 4 or 5 weeks. But you know when they weren't able to? Right here, in this June. So there's always going to be opportunities. And even before then, I want to say the stock hit 11 somewhere back here. Where was it at? We came up and touched 11. I know I made some money on some call options in here too in this run up. This was also so these big volume days back in April. These were also, opportunities for option chain being loaded up, and there's money to make in there. So they're not always successful in that max pain, but a lot of times they are, and it's kind of like, if you play options, you're gonna get burned sometimes, and other times you're gonna make a lot of money that's gonna compensate for the money you lost. But you absolutely need to know what you're doing when you do it. All right, so VXRT, my bad too, because we're right at the open right now, but I do have this CLOV chart here. Let me make sure that it's refreshed so that we can kind of watch CLOV off the open while I pull this up. Let's see here. So VXRT for this week. Let me see what the float size on that is too. If anyone has that information, otherwise I'll look it up. Just because that kind of plays a heavy role. If we were looking at something like AMC right now, those numbers are going to be way different than a float the size of, let's say, CLOV, or even a float the size of ATOS. So it looks like 122 million. So this is pretty consistent with, like, for a free float. Well, I don't know what the free float is. If anyone wants to pull that up while I'm looking at VXRT, that'd be awesome. All right, so it's trading at 820 right now. Just looking at this, I would say max pain's probably around 8, and 5,000 at 850. So that actually, and it's above 5,000, that could give it a little bit of push, but I don't see much past that. Again, it all has to do with the free float though. I'm going to pull up TRADYTICS on this so we can get a little bit more insight to it. All right. So something on my portfolio is kicking ass right now. It's not AVXL, because AVXL is coming all the way back down. What the hell is it? It is AVXL. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so VXRT. I'm just gonna pull this up over here. Was anybody able to get that free float on there? All right. Looking at the entire chain, 15,000 at 750 to 7,800. Yeah, that's pretty significant. 8,000 to 1,200, 7,000 to 300, and then over here at the $10 strike, 22,000 to 1,700. So yeah, even without this week, I can really see this stock has the potential to kind of get like a little bit of a gamma squeeze going, just with this outweighing and calls and puts. But again, that can always be risky. You always have the market makers, looking to manipulate these stocks. So, but yeah, this looks pretty intriguing right here. And just to show you guys the difference, like, I'm gonna pull up Apple. know it's hard to see, and I know you guys are probably trying to watch everything else, but you don't really see like these huge differences, right? Like in the difference in the option chain. I mean, it's more leveled out. Yeah, there's always going to be a certain spot where the option chain is going to outweigh the calls are going to outweigh the puts, but not in the in the type of fashion that we're seeing with some of these other stocks, especially when the float on them is a lot smaller. Um, let's see. They kill us every day at open. What's new? Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be when they try to attack it. But I mean, I don't know. I'd be shocked to see us like actually be pinned down below 8. I know that's the max pain number, but we've held that support level for so long. I don't see it happening. Um, let's see. So yeah, so AVXL now down. Great news this morning. That could be a gap fill. I know we've talked about that, before. This might be a good, again, if anybody wanted to play this as a short term, this might be a good entry point now, like right now, to get in because it's filling the gap from where it was at. And I mean, this thing ran up to like 26 in pre-market. There's a lot of room for improvement there. I'm not buying anything on this because I already have my long term play in here, but I'm looking for this stock to hit at least like 45.50 before I jump out. GameStop getting hit hard. No, not really. Down 0.5%. CLOV down 1.44, trading at 8.19. DraftKings down 40 cents, trading at 50.30. AVXL's now down 5%, almost down 88 cents on the day, trading at 20.42, and that's after running up 10% in pre-market. Just looking at the market in general, the SPY is actually up right now, about $1.68. So this doesn't look like too much of a market-wide sell-off or anything like that. Just happens to be a lot of the stocks that I'm watching, I guess. Let's see here. Looked like AMC went all the way down to 37.47, and it's now making a nice run back up. Pretty damn quick too. I'm gonna pull AMC up here real quick. And yeah, so AMC got slammed down pretty hard here. Um, we're getting some nice green coming off. I guess looks like Clove and even GameStop are all kind of following that similar pattern. What else are we looking at here? ATOS is another one that I've been kind of following ever since that Gamma Squeeze play we had. It's up 4.5% right now, back over $4. Um, Space still trading roughly around 31. Everything else seems to be somewhat flat. I know SPRT's been a popular one lately. It's down 9% right now, trading at 826. And yeah, VXRT looks like it could run. That might be looking at like gamma squeeze potential right there, like we just looked at. I mean, it's now trading above 9, and yeah, that's not a bad call right there. Whoever kind of put that out there, we can keep that one up. If you guys are playing that today, I'll leave it up there. Um, Co-creator said the man is keeping us down again. Bummer. I know that was late too. I know that basically you must have said that when we were down at 818, but we rebounded back pretty nice. I mean, especially if you look at these other meme stocks. GameStop wasn't able to kind of pull back. We're almost we're a penny away from being flat on the day. So we rallied back pretty good. And VXRT, wow, 10%. Yeah, the option chain definitely supports this thing running. Um, Seeing a little bit of resistance right now, but I'm gonna pull that back up and just see kind of what the major numbers on that are. I also want to check out what the float is here. So free float. Okay. Yeah, so the free float is 121 million. So yeah, somewhere in like that 10,000 range where calls outweigh puts, that's where you would want to be. So now that we kind of have that information, looking over here, $10 seems pretty significant. But it kind of dies off after that. 8,000 to 3,000, 7,000 to 3,000. Yeah, I could see this maybe, it's probably going to see a ton of resistance at $10. Um, you know, they're not going to want it to pass that just with the amount of open interest sitting there. But if it does, I could see it maybe pushing upwards of like 12. Um, but it doesn't really have the same type of setup. Like again, this is a very similar float to CLOV, and when we look at CLOV, we're seeing this like almost 10 to 20,000 outweighing calls versus puts at every single strike price, all the way up to 40. We don't really have that here. It's got a nice little gamma ramp to maybe get it up to 11 or 12 if it's able to break through 10. But again, this is another scenario though where if you sat here and just played Max Payne all day, the Max Payne on this stock is $8, right? And does that mean that they're going to be able to manipulate this stock back down to 8 before tomorrow? It doesn't look that way. It looks like the bulls are winning right now. Retail's winning, or whoever's behind this movement. So anything's possible, you know. I know it's kind of like definitely gives you that feel of defeat. It kind of ruins morale when week after week we're getting pinned at max pain, but it doesn't always work out that way. Dennis says Workhorse is moving. Workhorse is a stock, I don't know a damn thing about. I always see people talking about it and making videos about it and, posts on Reddit, and more so like maybe a month ago. But I don't know anything about that. Dave, I agree with you 100%. Dave says, in his opinion, shorts have little or no firepower left. Yeah. I mean, if they did, I think we would have seen them driving us down below 8, a lot earlier this week or even last week, but they haven't been able to. We've been holding support. And we've also seen some big institutional buys coming in too, right? And yes, some institutions will lend their shares out. So that it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? I mean, I don't know what institutions are and are not lending their shares out to short positions, but I guess, when retail comes in and buys up the float and some institutions come in and buy up the float, um, and decide not to lend out shares, that starts taking away their firepower too, right? So Ortex at one point was showing, I think, 61 million shares on loan at 100% utilization, and now if we look at Ortex, I think where we at today, we have 42 million shares on loan at 91% utilization. So that tells me that if there's only 9% left, God, I don't want to do too much math here. If I'm reading this right, let's even just say 10% left and call that another maybe 5 million shares or something like that, just to overestimate. Tells me that maybe there's only 50 million shares available now. So, potentially, us buying up the float, new institutions coming in and not maybe potentially lending shares out is taking away some of their supply. That being said, there's always the ability to naked short sale and pull other manipulation tactics. So, yeah, kind of a crazy world we're living in right now. I saw a tweet yesterday where someone said today and tomorrow will be red because the hedge fund raised the price to trick people into buying options. Now they're trying to kill the price for all those to be out of the money. Yeah, I saw that too. Um, that goes into that whole Max Payne thing, and I definitely can see that, like, where if you are manipulating a stock, and that wouldn't be hedge funds though. That's kind of a common misconception, right? To me, that's a little bit more market makers. They're the ones who are selling these call contracts, naked call contracts. Don't get me wrong, hedge funds would be as well, but I would say that would be more of a market maker thing. But either way, yeah, they'll kind of let the stock run up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get people all excited, have them jump in and buy up all these contracts, and then hammer the stock down to $9 or to $8 to max pain and have everybody lose. Absolutely, that could be the case, um, but that's not always the case. I mean, if that was the case, that means you're saying that this stock market is absolutely 100% controlled, and we could see that they do lose control. I mean, to me, that's losing control right there, right? That happens right in here. That was losing control. When the stock was able to run from 7 up to 11. I mean, and a ton of options went in the money both those times. So um, it doesn't always happen. And it seems like this whole Max Payne and stuff, I don't think it has as much of significance throughout the entire stock market. And the reason I say that is, when you look at I just pulled up that Apple chain and some of the other ones. If there's not a significant number of calls outweighing puts, they're not really going to try to sit there and manipulate it, right? Like in a perfect world for a market maker, they'd probably like to see 50% calls and 50% puts, and there really is no max pain number, right? It kind of, there's just going to be just as many winners as losers. But in some of these popular stocks, um, you know, and highly manipulated stocks, we're seeing a little bit more of what is that? We're seeing a little bit more of like these lopsided option chains, and that's when you really start to see that manipulation because they stand to lose a lot. Um, let's see. Ego says bullish engulfing candle. Absolutely. So for those of you guys watching, um, damn, why is my computer freezing up? For those of you that basically when you see a red candle here, and then the green candle basically starts lower than the red one finished and ends higher than this previous one finished. That's called an engulfing candle. When it's going from red to green, that's considered bullish. If it's going from green to red, and the red candle on the the next red candle is actually bigger, that would be considered bearish. So typically when you see this, you should see green following. Right now I would imagine hopefully we can hold VWAP and then actually turn off. And I know you probably left that comment a while ago, but I still think it counts. We're still up here in the positive territory. We did get all the way up to 840. Hopefully we can get another green one here and start to run up. Yeah, X-Tab. No, I'm not. I mean, you could be positively right. I saw that same tweet, and I mean, I think there's something to that. And I mean, basically, that's what we've been seeing for the past probably 5 or 6 weeks. That's how it's been turning out. But one of these days, we're gonna be able to get past that, and it doesn't have to be a huge blowout gamma squeeze. Like, I mean, shit. Even if we just finish at $9 this week, or 901, so that at least one of those call contracts, can get exercised and kind of put some pressure in. I think that would be helpful to our overall growth. Um, it doesn't have to be a big blowout gamma squeeze, but the potential is there for one. DJ's in the house. What's up? Thanks for stopping in again. Do I think it's a pump and dump due to the options expiration date? I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about the company to really know what's going on, but it does look like when we pulled up the news on it, right? It looked like they had a lot of positive news that just came in. So, um, booster effect of vaccine, platform with early stage data, you know, What else? Reporting quarter two earnings soon. So it looks like this is more positive sentiment for the stock. And like I said, if you look at the analyst ratings, the stock is basically trading at 9 right now. And you have some analysts that think this thing can go to 18, an average of 13. So a lot of times with these pharmaceutical companies, it's all based on, them getting approval, them getting positive test results. And, if the speculation was already in that, this was going to be a good test results or good earnings. I know that they, just looking at this, it looks like they have something to do with COVID vaccine probably. And I want to say they do it in like a spray form or something too, from what I remember, and I could be completely off on that. Or no, a COVID pill. There we go. Well beyond its COVID pill. So this is all news within the last 3 days. So this stock, and it looks like it's been kind of rising up since then. I don't know that it's necessarily a pump and dump. It could be that all those options that are in there were due to speculation of whatever good news came in today, but there is a significant gap here too. So, but that doesn't mean it can't continue to run, right? I mean, we saw some other gaps. This one right here got filled. Um, Small gap up there that didn't really get filled until after this run up to 11. So, yeah, I don't know, Scotty. I wish I can give you more information on it. And it looks like we lost VWAP over here with CLOV. Same deal happening with GME. I would imagine AMC's probably looking the same. No, AMC's holding VWAP, so they may be leading the pack today. Let's see. Yeah, Fluffer says we're gonna win today. I hope so. I'd love to see another Green Day, especially getting close to the end of the week and kind of to show that we're able to win and maybe beat the market makers a little bit. And let's see here. I'm gonna check out volume real quick because I just saw Dave's comment about volume. Yeah, we're only at 1.3 million on the day. Um, and co-creator, I think you're absolutely right too. He said, I wish it wasn't across the board meme movement, and it just seems like a lot of them kind of move together, but some of our biggest days have been when we broke away, but also some of our biggest days were following bigger days in other meme stocks too. So AMC kind of led the pack last time, and I think we had our squeeze about a week later. And GameStop's run up kind of coincided with ours. It might have been like a day or two earlier than Clove. So um, let me see. See, that's the way to do it. DJ said made a useful little bonus from SGOC and flipped it right back into Clove. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing too, right? When I play some of these other plays, I'm looking for lotto tickets, looking for short term plays. Some are long term, but either way, whenever I take profits, I'm trying to dump them back into my long positions. Um, is MRAIN a dead play? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't know anything about it. I remember it being one of the big short squeezes. A lot of people were jumping into it, but I never got into it. So I don't know. Do you have a SSD hard drive on your computer? If not, you might want to upgrade to a computer to SSD. Most likely fix your freezing problems. Um, I don't know what a SSD hard drive is. If you want to let me know, I'll definitely look into it. I'm on a Mac, so I don't know if that makes a difference. Michael says skills option chain. I'm gonna save that real quick. Get through the comments, and then we'll go. We'll get right back to it. Fluffer says VXRT is on a long term list to buy. Yeah, I don't know much about that VXRT, but like I'm looking at like ATOS even as that too, just because I kind of got into it with that options play that didn't work out, but I started reading more about the company. And a lot of these pharmaceutical companies seem like they have a lot of big growth potential. Um, let's see. I'm just trying to catch up, guys. Sorry. Um, Solid state drive. Thank you, CT. I just wrote that down. Um, Damn, everybody. Why didn't I know that? Look, Trenton saying solid state. Co-creator says solid state. Scotty knew it was a solid state. Man, all right. I learned something new. And then co-creator says for a Mac after 2014, it's standard. Yeah, I think my big thing with my Mac is I need to put more RAM in it. I really think that's my problem. But I'll definitely check it out. DJ, I agree with you too. The frustrating thing about them moving together is it makes it more difficult to flip one to buy another. Yeah, that's kind of, like even with my AMC, uh, like with my AMC stuff, it's like, um, I bought some call options last week just to kind of see if maybe it would bounce. But like my whole thing, every time I've played AMC, I've always looked for like, let me grab my gains and go put them into a company I believe in, like CLOV or something like that. And it just seems like the timing never works out. But I've been pretty successful, as much as I've kind of, I don't want to say hated on AMC, but kind of, I know if anyone who's been watching me knows my my take on it. I think it's got squeeze potential, but nothing that I would want to hold long term. I think it's highly overvalued, but I feel like with AMC out of all these stocks, I've been really kind of on point, like buying in before the big run ups and even buying puts before the big drawbacks. So, yeah, Fluffer, I just saw your comment right there. Congratulations. That's awesome. Um, no, Chef, Scotty was talking about VXRT. Um, let's see here. Damn, everybody's on the SSD. Eric even said, "How old is it?" I think it's I bought it when I bought this house that I'm in right now, and I think that was 5 years ago. So it's probably like a 2016. All right, TRADYTICS for MRIN. I got to do skills first, so let's get skills. So I'm done with the chat. I think I caught up. Let me get skills and then I'll look up MRIN. We'll get it up. We'll get both going. You guys want to see options, right? Um, so skills option summary. Um, let's see here. It's like calls were heavy a couple weeks ago, but it's pretty significant now. Looks like puts is outweighing calls right now. And what is skill? It's trading at 14 right now. Yeah, max pain on this, and we'll go check out MaximumPain.com too, but it's saying max pain's like 21. Um, because that's where it starts to get like really lopsided. But I guess the stock's trading somewhere around 14, and the puts are heavily outweighing the calls for looks like for a while here. Um, yeah, I don't see anything really to some large orders of puts that came in at $20 for August, $20 for August, again, $20 for August. Um, Puts at 13 for September. So yeah, it looks like I mean nothing interesting in terms of, and I'm still learning how to read this TRADYTICS chart. Um, but this definitely looks bearish to me. I mean, this looks a little bit different than what. There we go. Overall flow bearish. So yeah. And what was the other one we wanted to check out? MRIN. No data. And I've seen this before. Like even with BNGO, when I pull it up, some of these stocks it looks like it doesn't cover. Um, we could check out the stock dashboard though and see what it has to say. All right, so it's like short interest. Yeah, I don't know. I got to be perfectly honest with you. I don't really see anything that like pops out at me on either one of those stocks. Sorry. But I'm actually, like I said, Michael, I'm gonna look into skills a little bit more this evening. That was already like on my list of stocks that I want to check out. The other one that's really intriguing to me right now, um, is Wish, and I know like I've heard Tar Heel kind of say that like, like I've heard not even just Tar Heel, like other people just say how crappy the company is and all that, but I just keep seeing more and more about it, like in social media and everything else, and I don't know a damn thing about it. So that's a stock that's also on my list that I want to start researching and just seeing if there's anything there. Co-creator says this seems to be our bottom. This is the time to buy if you want to get in on this. So everybody buy, buy, buy. I like how I noticed the as well reminds me of the Ohio State University. I know co-creator knows what I'm talking about. Um, Max Payne feels very similar to a point spread in gambling. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of my analogy of it too, right? So like a market maker at the end of the day, um, should basically in essence what they want is to be 50-50, right? Just like a casino, they want just as many winners as losers, and they're going to make money off the spread, um, or the juice I should say. That's in essence, but at the same time, I mean, in market makers, same thing. Like their job is to basically match up buyers too. So not just selling options contracts, but match up buyers. So if you come in and you want to buy CLOV right now, and the bid is 824, so you put in an order at 824, you hit buy. There's somebody else out there selling for 824.05. They're gonna 8.24, 05 or whatever, like somewhere in there, like a fraction of a penny. Basically, what they're trying to do is match both of you up so you both get the greatest execution. You don't lose as much money in between, and then they pocket like a little fraction of the difference. That's what their job's supposed to be. They're supposed to be completely unbiased in the market, but as we've seen, that isn't always the case. Just even with the whole Max Payne theory and that market makers would manipulate a stock to keep it down so that more people would lose. It doesn't seem like they have the retail's best interest, or not even retail, just anyone's best interest. Their whole purpose is to create liquidity and give everybody the best execution possible, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. Um, I don't know anything about that, CT. Super interested in this riskified IPO, RSKD. Um, Personally standpoint, my business would benefit from better tech and e-commerce fraud detection. Okay. IO. So I don't know. Yeah, I know I've said it like in Tar Heels chat before. And so I know co-creator knows. I mean, I grew up in California my whole life, Northern California, but just growing up, always been a big Ohio State fan. As soon as I got into college football, I mean, obviously being in the Bay Area, I've always rooted for Cal, and Stanford. I'm kind of weird like that. Like I know they're rivals, but I always root for Bay Area teams. So I've always rooted for both Cal and Stanford. If they're playing each other, I've been more of a Cal fan. And I was always the same way too. I'm a Niner fan, but I'd root for the Raiders as long as they're not playing the Niners. Anyways, but for some reason, Ohio State has always been a school like going back to the, I'd say early '90s. My favorite college football team, and I've been out there. I've been out there twice now, out to the horseshoe, and watched a couple games over there. So um, yeah, that's why when you said I'm like, okay, the Ohio State. All right, let's look around here. So AMC's actually positive on the day now. CLOV is getting pushed down back to this $8 mark. We're down almost 16 cents, 2%. Uh, Pablo says, want to day trade a stock today. No options. Anything look hot? You know what? I mean, just looking at my watch list and everything that I've been looking at, I kind of like. I haven't looked at it in a second. I don't know if one of you guys call out a ticker, I could pull it up and we could maybe look for some entry points. But I mean, from more of a swing trade standpoint, I kind of like AVXL right now. This is a stock that I'm already in, but this isn't based off any sort of technicals. This is looking at where they've been, and now they're down 8% on the day off. Great news, unless something changed in here. Um, Yeah, I mean, this is all from an hour ago. We had, the stock has been basically kind of bouncing off this 50-day moving average, and it's right there right now. It hasn't broken below it, and they just released a shit ton of great news within the last 2 to 3 hours. And it's absolutely, it went on a gap fill earlier and started tanking. Like for me, if I was gonna just try to get in and play something kind of as a swing trade or something, I think this is a great entry point right here to maybe get in on this stock and ride it up. But again, that's not based on any sort of technicals or nothing. Like if we pull up a different stock and start watching and looking for entry points, right now this is very oversold. Who knows? It could absolutely. I don't think this is going to happen, but it could go all the way down and fill this gap at 15. But that would be absolutely insane considering the type of news that just came out about it and everything else. So um, I don't know. Let's see. Coach, what are your thoughts on KOSS? One of the top meme stocks and only 8.5 million shares outstanding. Had a couple big run ups this year. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't know anything about KOSS other than it started running when GameStop did. It was one of the higher like shorted stocks, and basically what happened was back in January when um, GameStop took off. All of a sudden, on that same day, it was like meme mania, and every stock that had high short interest absolutely exploded. A lot of their charts look very similar. Um, but, if you look at this chart right now, it almost trends exactly with GameStop. Here we go. Let's see. And I'll zoom in on this one and kind of pull back a little. I wish I could just like set the zoom to be exact. But either way, so look at this run up here was on January 27, 28, right? 27, 28. The next big run up for GameStop was right around March 10th. And here we go with KOSS, went up to 41.70 on March 10th, then started trading sideways. And the next big run up for KOSS was on June 2nd. Guess what? Next big run up for GameStop was right around June 2nd to June 8th. So it just, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things without knowing anything about it. I just feel like it's one of those things where when the next time GameStop pops, you're gonna see, your KOSS's, I bet you Naked's chart looks the exact same too. And I don't know anything about these stocks other than that every time GME pops, they do as well. So here's back in January. Oh no, Naked did not follow that. Oh yeah, it did get a little bit of a a push up from what 50 cents to a dollar on January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So I feel like they kind of lag behind GameStop by a day or two. But, if that's your thing and you want to jump into one of these, I would keep an eye on GME just based off that. Like you could see all the times GME goes on a nice run, that's when these stocks start to move too. I don't know if that is. I mean, my thoughts on it is probably because for the very same reason that I think AMC originally got popular. It was GameStop was taking off. Everybody flooded Wall Street bets to get into these stocks and went for the cheaper tickers. That's my speculation. Now AMC's in kind of it's got its own thing going on where it's highly manipulated and shorted and everything else. But I think that's kind of the same thing that happens now when all of a sudden GameStop goes on a big run and you know is doubling within a matter of days. It starts to get retail focused and everyone's like, oh yeah, let's go check out KOSS, let's go check out Naked, let's go check out BBBY. That's just because I don't know enough about those stocks. It just seems crazy that they all kind of are like a day or two behind. But shit, I mean, if you see GameStop go on a big run up, maybe go buy your KOSS because it might start following the next day. At least that's what's been happening in the past. For me, CLOV should have the same market cap of SoFi and open to Shamat specs. Yeah, you know what? SoFi is another one that I got on my list too to start doing some research into. I mean, that one, from what I've heard about SoFi, um, just all the different things they're in financially. I think that's another huge growth potential stock. I don't know much about Open at all. Pablo says need to be out in today so I can put the funds into Friday Lotto plays. Yeah, that's my favorite. uh, AVSK says Neg is ripping. Neg was ripping last week too. Again, something that I don't know much about. How are the Bollinger Bands looking today? So I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a fan of these Bollinger Bands, and I'm sure I could set them up, you know, however I want in here if I go in and play with the settings. But I'm not a big fan of the Bollinger Bands in Webull, and this is one of the reasons why. Um, I'm really like once I get that RAM that we've been talking about in the chat today. Once I get my RAM for this computer, I'm gonna switch back to Thinkorswim because it's basically my VWAP on or VWAP on Thinkorswim has a setting where I could set in like the true range for the day, and it kind of works like Bollinger Bands, but I feel like it's a lot better. It basically it's running off VWAP and it's pretty true. Like if we look at this right now, it looks like everything's dipping below, and I've noticed that even if we come over here, everything's going above it. So that's not really giving me a true readout. Now I'm sure I could do a little bit of research and try to figure out exactly how to set this up the way I like it in Webull, but I already have those settings like dialed in. And basically the way I have them set up in my Thinkorswim app is, that line might be trending, let's say way down here. And that's telling me that, okay, once we hit this 806 mark, we're looking for a bounce back. And I'd say like more often than not, like 7 times out of 10, those bands seem pretty correct. And I use them to day trade. Well, I haven't been day trading in a while, but I used to use them to day trade all the time. And same thing, you'll have maybe like a band up here that's at like 843, 845, whatever. And as the stock goes up and touches that band, you kind of know that you're hitting that overbought territory similar to RSI, and it really seems to follow it. So I'm just, it's more of a comfort thing. I'm just not into the Bollinger Bands on Webull right now. And then pivot points too. I'm not. Why are we only looking at one pivot point? Yeah, I'm just not comfortable in this Webull app. I got to be completely honest. Pablo says wearing green pants today. So weird day so far. Not going to do a channel or videos, but if I did, it would be called dry powder. Dry powder or dry power? Dry powder. I like dry powder. Dry powder with Pablo Escobar. Hey, you know what would be fun, man? Because I'm into the lotto tickets too. If you want to start coming on Friday mornings in the pre market, we could start looking for some stuff to throw in because those are my favorite plays. I mean, and I know I've said that a bunch of times. I'll throw in on some lotto tickets on Fridays, and shit, I might only hit one out of every 20. But when you hit that one, it makes up for the 20s and then some. So, yeah, maybe hit me up afterwards, man. Maybe we could start doing that on Friday mornings and start looking for some runners. That'd be awesome. Um, or even a little Thursday night thing. We could pre-record it and then release it. Just kind of like pick some runners for Friday morning. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna hit you up afterwards, Pablo. That actually that sounds pretty cool. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. I know I'm way behind. Do you invest in crypto? You know what? I've I actually so I wouldn't really call it investing. uh, so I bought some XRP recently, just because I heard it from like way too many people who've been really successful in crypto. Like have made money off the Dodge coin. We talked about this on Tar Heels channel. Yes, I know that's not called Dodge. I just call it that to annoy people. Um, but I know I have some friends who made a lot of money off that. I didn't get into it. I have some friends who've been getting into some other stuff. To me, the way I see it is like, here we're complaining about the U.S. stock market being manipulated, right? And then you look at the crypto markets are even less regulated. I'm sure there's way more manipulation happening there, and it's just I don't want to put a lot of money into it, but I know you could make a lot of money in it. So what I've heard, um, one thing I have a friend, and I don't know if you're out there right now, Pat. He's been really killing it I know he watches the show sometimes, and I talked to him almost a month ago about maybe having him come on like once a week and talk crypto because he seems to have a pretty good beat on what's going on with it, and I trust his opinion. And so he was talking about XRP for a while. And then we just went to my neighbor's party last Friday, and I feel like I ran into like four people there that I hadn't seen in forever, and they were all talking about XRP. Apparently, they're going through some lawsuits and stuff right now, and it's kind of already priced in. And so it's basically one of those things where, similar to CLOV with the DOJ investigation and the SEC thing, where like once this now Clove's not in a lawsuit, so I shouldn't say similar, but as soon as this lawsuit kind of wraps up, um, they're expecting this thing to like really pop, and shit. So I bought it on Monday morning, and let's see here. Think I bought it, or no, maybe Sunday. I bought in at like 50 cents and it's at 70 cents now. And like I said, they're saying it's gonna go to like $3-4, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't throw a ton of money into it, but I figured, you know what? I never play these plays they talk about, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy some. So I bought some XRP. Bitcoin's one that I've usually always just kind of like I treat it more like a bank account. I've always owned Bitcoin. I don't care um, about the volatility. I think that it's got utilization. I think that's the only crypto that I've ever really invested in, and I just maybe throw like a couple $100 a month, and I just constantly just invest it into my Bitcoin wallet and don't really look at it. It's just sitting there. Although I did transfer some of my Bitcoin out to buy this XRP. All right, so I hope that answers your question. But if you guys are interested in crypto, and you think that would be fun, let me know. I'll absolutely, I'll hit him up, and I'm sure he would come on and talk crypto, even if it was like once every couple weeks or something. Um, and just kind of give his input and maybe let us know what the next hot play is or whatever. I don't know. Man, Chef Daddy's killing it. I feel like every day Chef Daddy's getting down day trading. Um, I was just curious. Yeah, no, that's kind of how I've never gotten into any of those. Like I said, but then I remember people telling me about the doggy coin um before it was even a penny. And I'm like, nah, I don't do crypto. And then I remember people telling me about it when it was at like 4 cents, and I'm like, I don't do crypto. Um, and then it went on some runs, and I mean, there's always going to be other plays, so I try not to like FOMO into stuff. But I'll tell you one thing I did do is I called the top of the Dodge coin. Um, Not because I know anything about crypto, but just like I remember the day that it was going to go on Saturday Night Live. We were at a party, and I was talking to some friends, and I remember telling them like, hey, dump your Dogecoin before the Saturday Night Live starts. They're like, no, it's gonna explode, this and that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah, man, just my experience in the markets is when whenever everybody's talking about something, and I mean everybody's talking about something, it's time to get out. And that's when you're going to see rug pulls. That's when you're going to see the biggest people that are in it. They know that now they got suckers that are going to come in and buy, and that's when they're going to pull the rug. And that's just with the stock markets and everything. I mean, I just feel like once it gets that big, that's when you're going to see a drop. I remember reading a book a long time ago that was like, you know, uh, when you're at the grocery store and you hear the people in front of you and behind you talking about all their stock market gains, and how the market's never going to come down, that's when a market crash is coming. you know I don't know how true that is, but I've kind of always resonated with me. And so with the Dogecoin thing, when it was going on Saturday Night Live, and I felt like everybody I knew was asking me about it, it was like, hey man, I would sell. Like, just get out. Who cares? You got in at 4 cents. It's at 74 cents or whatever it was at right now. Like, get out of that shit now, because you never know what's going to happen. And I mean, I haven't really been paying too much attention to it, but it seems like it hasn't been doing too well. And I follow some people on Twitter that kind of post, and I think the most recent one I saw said that you know Dogecoin's probably going to fall a little bit lower, maybe to like 8 to 10 cents, and then rip back upwards. And I don't know if that's happened yet or not. All right, I'm way behind in the chat again. Let me see. Yeah, same thing, co-creator. That's the same thing. Too much volatility. Um, I mean, but I don't know. I might be. I feel like I'm seasoned for volatility now with after these last 7 months of GameStop, and then even sitting through CLOV. More recently. So, all right, still trying to catch up. All right. Fluffer, I just saw your last comment too, and no, I'm really excited for you. And you know what? I grew up in the same type of single parent household, all that kind of stuff. So, absolutely, it's amazing what you can do, and I'm assuming you got those gains in the stock market. Congratulations. That's an amazing accomplishment. It really is. It's something to be proud of. Let's see here. Just looking around. So Clove, we're finally getting back up to VWAP. And I think I asked Tar Heel yesterday um, how to pronounce it, because I've only ever read it in books. I've never heard anyone else really talk about it. Um, and I say VWAP, and I think he said VWAP. I don't know. I think sometimes I say both. But either way, um, you know, either way, Clove just broke through it. Hopefully, we can hold this candle and start to reverse. The low of the day is 814. That's higher than yesterday's low. We're only down 6 cents on the day now. Maybe we can start ripping. I'm signing off in what, 38 minutes. So you guys know what that means. Those of you that have been in here every day, that means we're gonna start going green. And this might be your last time to buy the dip on the day, because it seems like we always start ripping right before I get out. GameStop also just busted through VWAP. It looks like maybe 5 minutes before us, and also almost flat for the day. So yeah, it could be a reversal for a lot of the memes. But it looks like DraftKings, which is not a meme, is starting to do the same thing too. So I'm gonna take a look at the SPY here. Maybe get an idea of what the overall market's, but it looks like that's been kind of just trading sideways today. So see what AVXL is doing. This is kind of shocking to me, but we've talked about this. Even somebody else had said something about CT. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at you right now. Let's see. So yeah, AVXL, kind of shocking. I was expecting some big things, and so was my portfolio this morning. When we first signed on, it was like up huge. That was like the biggest green in my portfolio, and now it is not. It's down 9% on the day. I want to see here what this. Yeah, I have to see what happens. Is it possible to hide short positions and options? Um, there's a lot of information on that. If you want to really, really like dig deep into some of this stuff, Super Stonks subreddit is a great place. There's been a ton of DD on there, and they even have like a glossary now, or I guess you would call it, where you can go in and or more of an index where you can go in and like look at like all kinds of stuff. And it's really a good resource, especially to see how it applies. Hold on one second. What's up? You just wake up? Okay, go get ready. All right. Especially because it doesn't just apply to GameStop, right? I mean, this market manipulation applies across the board. And yes, I don't know about hiding short positions, but more like hiding FTDs or like covering FTDs. Because you got to figure, right? Like for an actual short position, if you're borrowing shares from somebody, those people, you still have to give those shares back to somebody. In terms of same thing with the naked short position. At the end of the day, that's going to come up as a failure to deliver with the clearinghouse, right? Because you shorted shares into the market, you sold them into the market, and now you need to go deliver those shares to the clearinghouse because someone on the other end bought them. But basically, what they're able to do is hide failure to delivers through short positions. And you know what? Maybe I'll make that the next chalk talk thing, and I'll kind of break that down and try to simplify it and put it in like the easiest terms possible. What's going on here? Pablo says you went with Tesla on a bull flag. Pablo, I just out of curiosity, and I was asking Chef Daddy this the other day too. Oh, nice. Good stuff, Pablo. Looks really nice. I don't know where your entry point was, but either way, that's looking really good. Before I get into like really day trading on here, I got to go get that RAM. And you know what? I'm gonna make a promise right now. I'm gonna go get some RAM this weekend, and when we come back on Monday, I'm gonna have Thinkorswim up because I just feel way more confident. I kind of need my moving averages. I need to have my stuff set up. Right now, that's why I just kind of keep it with the 5 minute and keep view app up because it's just like I don't I don't feel comfortable in it. I mean, I already have my screeners in Thinkorswim. Like, I mean, I traded in Thinkorswim for years, and it's really, really hard. But I'd like to know, like, I was asking Chef Daddy yesterday offline, and maybe me and you could even talk offline too. Just kind of like what screeners you use to find stocks, or all that kind of stuff. Um, you guys are cracking me up. Get a bucket and a mop for that Clover app. Joseph says I'm up to date with Chalk Talks. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I just figured that would be a cool and again, if anybody has any ideas, I mean, I try to make it simple, and make the videos short, and that way it's just like if there's anything one person asked to kind of explain the whole like buy wall, sell wall, and some of these things I'll definitely start incorporating visuals because it's too hard to imagine, but just talking about level two and how to read that kind of stuff, or eventually maybe get into technical analysis or whatever you guys want to hear about. I mean, they're really quick videos. I don't. Someone pointed out, I think it might have been Chef Daddy, pointed out in the comments of one of them, like you could tell you didn't script it, and then someone else had commented on there too, like you seemed kind of rambly on that one, and I appreciate the feedback too, whether it's positive or negative criticism. It really, it's just gonna make me get better at it. But I don't script the stuff. I just kind of hit record and just talk, and then and then upload the video. I actually noticed that in the and normally I don't watch the videos except for when the person said I was rambly. Then I went back and watched it. Like, man, was I rambling on that one? And there was one point where I said sell instead of buy on accident when I went back and rewatched it. But I think if you were paying attention, you kind of get the gist of what I was getting at. So yeah, as long as people are enjoying them and watching them, I'll keep rolling with it. Um, co-creator, thank you. Uh, he said, if I had to guess, I'd say Coach is a good coach, a great YouTuber, and an amazing dad and husband. Just to guess. Yeah, unfortunately, and I know I've said this on here before too. Just with coaching, this year I'm probably going to take some time off, and the I've already talked to our head coach and everything else, and just kind of I'll still be there and kind of help, and the team already knows and the coaching staff knows, but just with my dissertation and school starting back up, and like this YouTube doesn't really get in the way because I'm doing it in the mornings, but and then my kids are starting to play sports, and it's just I've been coaching for 20 years, and I really feel like I gotta reevaluate my priorities, and being at football practice for 3 hours a day for basically 10 months out of the year, you got to give a little somewhere. Um, Swing trading 101. I'm gonna write that one down, Dan. That's a good one too. But see, that would probably the way I've been trying to do it is, and I'm open to suggestions too. Like I could have made one long video and talked about that whole thing about, short selling, how orders are routed, but I wanted to kind of like give everybody a background information on like all these different things so that when you really start getting into like deeper talks and we start talking about some of the manipulation tactics, it's like everybody already understands. Well, what do you mean my order was routed here? Or what do you mean a failure to deliver? So I try to break it down in smaller videos, and if you kind of watch them in order, then it'll all make sense. At least that's the way I was thinking it out. But with the swing trading, we might need to kind of get into that too, where maybe we start off with different indicators and break those down. How do you, how do you look at certain moving averages? What moving averages are better on certain time frames? All that kind of stuff, and then start to move into it. But yeah, I mean, I just wrote that down. I'll absolutely maybe get into that as well. Co-creator, that's a good point. Let me pull up Ortex. So the one thing that I've noticed recently on Ortex is that the utilization's starting to pop back up, right? So utilization's back up to 91. 7 days ago it was at 81. And if we turn on utilization here, let me get rid of some other stuff. Okay, so here's the price down here, and utilization is this yellow line. So if you look at where utilization was at, way up here on the, preceding, this is back in March, when we kind of popped to 11 shortly after that, and then utilization was on the rise. And once we really got up here to like 100% utilization, or like 96, 97 was like the lead up to the big pop on the June 8th run up. So we did see utilization fall down all the way to 77, and it's starting to rise back up. We're at 91 right now. To me that looks like maybe, who knows? I don't know, if that's going to make a big difference. I think Tar Heel made a video about a month or two ago comparing the utilization numbers for like AMC's different run ups and CLOV's run ups, and kind of, I want to say, and I could be wrong, Tar Heel, if you're listening, throw it in the chat. But I think it was like something had to do with the same thing. Like, even though short interest or whatever may not have been as high, when the utilization was high, that's when we saw the run ups. But I could be wrong in that. Tar Heel, if you're listening, call me out on it. Thomas, high school, so varsity, and then I coach offensive line. Yeah, Narwhal, go Niners. Narwhal, you I want to say I know this already. Maybe you're in Southern California, but if not, where you at? Um, just out of curiosity. Okay, yeah. So co-creator is co-signing right now. So that was so that video that Tar Heel made. Yeah, I want to say it had to do with utilization, and that's what I was thinking. So, utilization's rising, and as utilization rises, the other thing that comes along with that is the cost to borrow increases, right? So, um, looks like one of my kids just set off the alarm in the house. Let me see if I could turn it off. Oh my, okay, it's off. All right. But yeah, as utilization goes up, the cost to borrow is going to also increase, right? So that's also going to maybe make it too expensive for some shorts to be in. I mean, from a straight up like short squeeze standpoint, we're not anywhere near where we need to be at, trading at $8, because you got to figure, um, if a short got in here at 14, we're not squeezing them out right now. If a short got in here at 10, we're not squeezing them out right now. Shit, if a short got in way up here at 28, we're not squeezing them out right now. We need to get this price up to where we're putting the pressure on them. But, if cost to borrow goes up, which is going to happen as the price increases and as utilization increases, now that becomes more expensive for them to hold that position. And they have to start making a decision of, well, shit, do I want to hold on to this short position when it's costing me, whatever, 30%, 200%, whatever it may be, and I'm starting to lose profits now. And so there's so many different elements to it. And that's why like every squeeze is a little bit different. But then at the same time, um, they kind of have been tracking each other. So a little hard to figure out. We got a nice trend line going right now. I'm going to draw a line here because I am starting to learn how to draw lines in Weeble. So I'm gonna draw a little line for co-creator. Let's see. We got a nice trend going right there. Um, I don't know how much we're gonna hold this, but that is looking pretty cool right now. Something to get excited about. We've basically been trending upwards since we hit that bottom at 710. Um, all right, let's see here. Hey, good morning, in freak. Joseph, you and Tar Heel talk about Carl. I don't know what you mean about Carl. How do I find his videos? Would you like to watch his as well? So go on YouTube and search Tar Heel Blue. You know what, too? Tar Heel, I don't know if you're listening right now. I'm just going to put a permanent link on my videos. Like, go check out Tar Heel Blue and just have it in there because I feel like we're always kind of like going back and forth to reference and stuff. And that way I could just tell people, like, yeah, go down below and hit. and check out Tar Heel. But yeah, if you just search Tar Heel Blue, Tar Heel, all one word, and then blue. Actually, I could even drop a link in here. Or co-creator, if you can, maybe drop a link in the chat if you're listening. Um, what's your opinion on NCAA players making endorsement money? Man, we could talk about this for a long time. So actually, so like my whole dissertation that I'm working on my PhD right now. My dissertation it revolves around basically college football, more so the recruitment of high school athletes. But I've done a lot of reading and research into this, and it's like, for me, I think that NCAA players deserve to be paid, but I think it also opens up the doors for a lot of manipulation too. So I feel like if they if they there's ways that they can accomplish it. Um, I don't really know that I necessarily like the endorsement thing. Um, just because, I feel like if you were going to pay players, obviously you should be compensated for, how great you're doing. Like someone who's starting every game should probably get paid more than someone who's not, and get paid for your efforts and your work. I think that there also becomes a fine line though, where it's like you're a student athlete. So maybe, and I mean, this is just off the top of my head, if they figured something out where like, yeah, you could make money from endorsements and you could get paid to play, but maybe there's a cap or anything that exceeds that cap gets put into some sort of trust that you get after you leave the college. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, um, like you get a certain amount up to a certain dollar amount that you can actually have now. But then after you leave college, whether you leave for the NFL or graduate or whatever it may be, then you kind of get access to the whole thing. That's like an idea that me and some friends were just BSing about. But I mean, I definitely think they should get paid. I mean, they're making so much money for those colleges, and while a lot of people will say, yeah, but they're getting a free education. Um, at the same time, when you look at the amount of money that they're bringing in, especially college football, usually not only supports the entire athletic departments, but it also supports colleges like the university in general. Sometimes some of the more successful teams with their TV rights and everything else, and it's like, for them to be making millions upon like hundreds of millions of dollars off these kids, and they're not seeing any of it at all. To me, that's just not right. That's manipulation in its own right. That's my take. All right, I know I'm way behind. Oh, Narwhal, I knew that already. I feel like you said that already. You're up there in Seattle. Um, all right, I must be behind. I'm getting co-creators liking the lines now. Raj, what's up? I just seen this first time I seen you in there. Thanks for joining today. Oh, is Hood out and ready? I'm not shorting it. I'll tell you. Still not up. So Pablo, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I kind of gave my take on that. Like, I would wait, wait to see what happens. Like, I mean, I could see this thing potentially right out the gates going on a nice big pump, and who knows what it's even gonna come in an IPO at. Sometimes like Coinbase is probably the most recent one that I could remember. I think DD was one too, but especially if you're shorting, if the stock opened here, and if you tried to open up a short position here, you probably got stopped out before you got to take profits on the way back down. Puts, on the other hand, a little bit different, but either way, I would just try to time it. And I would definitely go with puts instead of a short position if you were going to, but I'm staying away from it completely. But here's another one. DD IPO'd recently. I don't know anything about this company, but same thing. It started here and initially went on a nice little pump and then dropped all the way down. And then came and then I mean you could have made a ton shorting or having puts on that, but Robinhood's just such a heavily manipulated or with the manipulation that they were involved in back in January and their ties with some of the bigger players and all this stuff. I feel like, man, I just don't want to touch that. I feel like that's going to be an opportunity to kind of rake retail over the coals, and I don't know. Raj, no, I'm in Northern California. I'm up in the Bay Area. Um, Head down to Southern California a lot though. But no, I'm up in the East Bay. Not sure if you're familiar with it, but like east of in between Oakland and Sacramento. All right, co-creator. I'm not putting that comment up, but I like to support everybody. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let's. Oh, damn it, I missed it. He said we were green for a second, coach. Congrats. I got 2 green days this week, right? This would be my third. I think we were green when we left here on Monday, and yesterday we were definitely green when we left. But I still got 16 minutes to see if we can get some green in here. We're basically trading around flat right now. Anyone who's new in here, it seems like every morning right before I sign off, and I think I called it out earlier too, right? Like right around here, I said, "Hey guys, I'm going to be signing off in 40 minutes. Buy the dip now." And like clockwork, I'm sure it has more to do with for some reason CLOV just goes on a little run here around 7:20 every day. But it also seems like the stock hates me, and when I'm getting ready to sign off, that's when it goes green. So, um, luckily, I had started I'm gonna leave that line up for you, co-creator. I had started streaming um what about a week before the June 8th, maybe 2 weeks before the June 8th run up, June 7th run up. So I got my fun days of streaming in already, and now I think I'm getting punished for it. I get to get all the red days in the morning, and then everybody, Tar Heel gets to cover the green days in the afternoon. Okay, you're in Dublin. Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh actually. So I'm sure you probably. So we're neighbors almost. Yeah. Um. Cool. That's good. That's great to hear. Kamal says the lowest volume ever. What are we at right now, volume wise? I haven't even been paying attention. Um. About 3 million right now. I'm interested in seeing what GameStop's at too, because GameStop's volume has been ridiculous lately. Like every single day, lowest volume in the last 2 years. Yeah, GameStop's at 550,000 volume right now. That's insane. Um, so before I do sign off, I'll just kind of do a quick review of some of the other stocks I'm looking at. I noticed somebody said something about BNGO. I haven't looked at it. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Yeah, BNGO looking green. Um, Finally got above yesterday, so we're starting to see some turnaround there. BNGO's earnings are coming up too, August 4th. I'm really expecting some good things here. Hoping for a turnaround in this stock. AVXL shocking the hell out of me. You know, it's now down 7% on the day. It did kind of turn around from down here where we were talking about. It was at 19 and it's approaching 1979. I would imagine this is going to turn around today. I mean, it was trading at it closed yesterday somewhere around $21. Amazing news in pre-market. Ran all the way up to what 20, almost $26 in pre-market, and then it came down to fill the gap off the open and just kept tanking. But I would imagine the stock's going to turn around. I mean, that's to me, this was like a gap fill that just went a little bit too, tried to fill too much, and now it's definitely it's oversold as shit right now on the 5 minute chart, and I think it's going to come roaring back here. Um, who knows though? I could be wrong. I could be biased because I'm long AVXL. GameStop again down 1%. CLOV right around flat. We really want to see this thing go green before I sign off. We got 1 penny right now. But definitely in a nice trend reversal. Hopefully we'll see like we did yesterday where we kind of go, do this little stair stepper. I know yesterday we were holding, we bounced off that moving average, the 50. Here, let me delete this line. Sorry, now why is my line different? Oh, I got to do it on every chart. Tar Heel, I know you, I just saw you're in here. You didn't tell me that part that I got to maybe I just didn't save it. There we go. All right. So, yesterday we were holding the 50 pretty well. And it looks like we're below it right now. But what I mean by that is once we kind of bounced up and went on a run, we came down and tapped off the 50 and we closed right at the 50. So today we're trading below the 50. We're just getting above it right now. I mean, shit, I could see us getting up here, and maybe come down and bounce off it. That would be awesome if we can kind of hold that level again now that we're going green. Let me turn off these other ones if I could figure it out. There we go. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Narwhal says, love the Bay. And Points North, Shelter Cove, Lost Coast, awesome. This stock loves Coach. Orlando veteran here. Question: what software you use for the price watching? So right now I'm using Webull. That's what I'm actually using right now. Typically I use TD Ameritrade. I did kind of say earlier, so I'm gonna go buy some RAM this weekend, and I'm gonna have my Thinkorswim app up here because I'm not too comfortable or familiar with this app, and even though I've been getting more comfortable with it, I don't know. I want to get back to my comfort zone. I mean, I traded with Thinkorswim for shit years, and I only did this for the videos, and I'm not liking it. Scott, what's up? Another person in the East Bay. That's awesome. So that makes 3 of us now. San Leandro again, not too far. We're all pretty much neighbors. We're all probably about 20, 30 minutes away without traffic. Let's see. Clove might hate you, but we love you. Yeah, it's like it's pushing me on the way out. The green just starts going up. Like, all right, coach, get the hell out of here. Has THB revealed his news yet? Yes, he did. I think he tweeted it out last night. Let me see if I can pull up that Twitter post and I'll show it to you guys. So you guys we'll do a little reveal on Talking Stocks. I'm glad you brought that up. I think Tar Heel tweeted it out. Shit. Let's see. Let me pull him up. And I'll show you guys the actual tweet. If you go on his channel though too, he actually has the. There we go. Tar Heel Blue. Shit, I can't find it. I'm gonna pull it up on his YouTube channel. But anyways, he's gonna be interviewing a guy about FinTwits. Dude has a huge following too. Um, Jonah, I can't think of his name right now, but I want to pull this up to show you guys if I can. There we go, Jonah Lupton. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this over. This is Tar Heel Blues channel. But special guest Jonah Lupton interview. He's basically, they're going to be talking about the FinTwit conference. I guess that didn't work out too well. They're going to be talking about the FinTwit conference, which is taking place in October, talking stocks, some other stuff. And basically, yeah, I mean, this is going to be what, next Thursday, August 5th at 12? Am I reading that right? Oh, 12 o'clock my time. All right. So either way, yeah, that was the news. Should be pretty good, especially for the CLOV community because this dude, like I said, this guy's got I think like 1 million followers or something like that on Twitter. And he's kind of a big name. And like while he's coming on to talk about the FinTwit conference, I would imagine that's going to be huge for like our community, and hopefully we can get some more people to come into to Tar Heel's channel, and maybe start joining the CLOV gang. That's what it's all about, right? So I'm excited about it. Oh, there we go. Pablo's answering it for me already. Big time influencer with 500,000 followers. Okay. Yeah, I tried to find the tweet. I couldn't do it. Sorry. I'm trying to catch up now. Now I'm way behind. I'm hella behind now. Sorry, guys. I use Webull, but you pay extra for it, I suppose. Oh, are you talking about this level 2, this order book? Rob, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if I pay for this or if it was part of, I think I got a free trial on it, and you probably do too. So if you check in your promotion thing on Webull, and I think it came with like a free, like a free 3 month or 2 month of this order book thing, but they do want to charge you for it for this level 2 data. And like I said, I mean, I already get it free through my Thinkorswim app, and I don't know. Next week I'll absolutely have it up there. Jonah is no Pablo, but he'll do. That's funny. Let's see. I think I'm already caught up. All right, so guys, thank you again for joining. Sitting through me rambling on this morning. Again, if you've been enjoying those chalk talks, the videos I just put out, I know some of you guys mentioned them. I wrote down some ideas that you guys came up with, but go on the videos and just leave a comment like, "Hey, I want to hear about this. I want to hear about that," and it'll give me something to do, and I'll continue to kind of do make more videos as I have time. But yeah, and like I say, I'm learning every day too. So if you ask about a topic that I don't know about, shit, I'll gladly go and research it. I like to read, and it's a good break for me from my schoolwork, just like doing this, kind of, good stress relief. And I'll go on there and learn something new and try to break it down and explain it too. Um, it looks like we're going green right now. I hope we can kind of, keep this momentum up. I'll be watching Tar Heel later on this afternoon for Power Hour. Even if we finish a penny in the green today, I'll be happy. The stock's really starting to move in the right direction, and to me, that's what's important. Is we found? I feel like we've really found this base at $8. I don't see us going any lower, which is kind of probably going to be hard. I think for them to maybe push it down to 8 too. Right when you think about, Max Payne's at 8 o'clock. I mean 8 o'clock. I'm thinking about signing off right now. Max Payne's at $8, right? So that's where they're gonna want to push this stock to. That's where they're gonna want to pin this stock to, so that more calls expire out of the money. But we found support at $8. Like every time they've gotten us down near 8, we've been able to, or below 8, we've been able to push right off of it. And today, this looks very similar to how we were yesterday. They got it today, they only got it down to 814, and now we're ripping through. I mean, look at this right here compared to yesterday, right around the same time. What is that? 740 yesterday, we hit 797 and just started ripping up. And today it happened at 710, but we're kind of doing the same thing now. So hopefully we can kind of hold this pattern and continue up and get a little bit higher. And I think if we can close above $9 this week, that would be huge. Obviously getting upwards of 10, 12, and then really kicking some stuff off would be awesome. But even, if we can get above 9 this week, I think that would be a huge win. That would put a lot of option contracts in the money. That would, really, really apply a little bit of pressure. But either way, I'm feeling optimistic about this thing. And everybody who's been watching knows that, squeeze or no squeeze, buying this stock right now under $9 in this $8 range. And I mean, shit, I was saying this at $13 that, you're getting a stock that had the potential to double from 13. So coming in at $8 now, you have the potential to maybe 3 or 4 times your money with no squeeze, just where this stock should be trading today. Then you start talking about, future growth and where this company can go and expand to. I mean, they only have a very, very tiny footprint right now, operating in something like 209 counties. And they've got so much room to grow from here on out. And they're growing. And not only are they growing, but they've just hired, the 2 executives that they hired, last month, came from growth companies, came from technology companies. And to me, that shows the vision of where this company's going to go. It's just so many great things. And I know Target Short Seller said it in the comments earlier, but I think he's spot on that, like, he's really starting to see this as like a stock he wants to hold forever. And I feel the same way. I mean, this is a stock I really feel like, have faith in what you're holding right now, regardless of what happens. Even if they push us down to $8, to the max pain point on Friday, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, this is a stock that's going to be trading in triple digits one day. That's really my feelings, my faith in this. And if we get a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze somewhere in between, hey, now we can take a little profit, and when it dips back down, we could double up on our long-term position, right? So, anyways, that's my little closing remarks for today. I'm really feeling good, and I'm really feeling good that we found this $8 base now. All right, guys, have a good day. I appreciate everybody coming on. Check me out tomorrow. I'll be going one more day. Friday, we'll close it out. Hopefully, closing out green for the week again, and yeah. Have a great weekend if I don't see you tomorrow.